Welcome to the Archetypes of the East series. Here, we're going to be looking at Hexagram 19, Approaching, Overseeing. The I Ching forecasts that something or someone of importance is drawing closer, signaling the arrival of an event or an influential force in the seeker's life. This influence could manifest as a goal, a significant individual, or the next phase or season of life. Often, this principle invites a collaboration on a major effort that requires teamwork and specialized assistance. The principle of Hexagram 19 is the nearing light. Hexagram 19 represents the archetype of incipient success. It signals a time when the light or the creative power is growing and drawing closer. After the purification of the past, the path is now clear for significant progress. This is a season of opportunity, where a goal, a mentor, or a major life phase is moving into your immediate orbit. This hexagram calls for a powerful presence. As it states, something or someone of importance is signaling an arrival. This isn't a passive waiting period, it's an active approach. You must position yourself in order to receive this influential force. Whether it's a career breakthrough or a significant individual, the gravity of your life is increasing in this moment. This hexagram is also a call for collaboration. This principle rarely acts in isolation. It invites collaboration on a major effort. Because the approaching force is substantial, you can't handle it alone. You must be willing to seek teamwork or specialized assistance in order to anchor this new energy. This hexagram also warns that there is a window of action and opportunity. The Oracle views this high momentum state as an approach that brings immense joy meeting with devotion. It's a time to move forward with confidence while the tide is in your favor, but this opportunity will not last forever. It must be acted upon. This hexagram's energy is about benevolent influence. It's warm, rising, and urgently optimistic. It's the energy of a high tide that lifts every boat in the sea. This is not a time of a forced struggle, but a magnetic attraction. Something of importance is coming into range, and your task is to meet it with open arms and a prepared mind. Where it concerns leadership, this is the archetype of the servant leader. It signals a significant person who descends from their heights to mentor and to guide. This energy is benevolent and joyful and not overbearing. It's the CEO walking the factory floor or the mentor that sits down with the intern. Favorable approach lies within a limited window. Out of the 12 stages of a cycle, the 8 months of growth are a gift. This creates a sense of strategic urgency within this hexagram. You must approach your goals now while the cosmic weather is favorable. Because the lake, or joy, is the inner driver, your approach should be characterized by a high morale. People are drawn to this energy. Collaboration isn't just helpful, it's inevitable. You are becoming the center of gravity. The image of Hexagram 19, Earth over lake. The earth above the lake, the image of approach. The superior one is inexhaustible in the will to teach and is without limits in their tolerance and protection of the people. The symbol of the earth sitting above the lake represents a high-level source of nourishment that is nearing or approaching the surface to provide life. This is the archetype of generous mentorship. This hexagram is advising one to find joy in instruction. A leader with this passionate wellspring of teaching draws endless joy. In this phase, your success is measured by the growth of those you support. Because you find joy in their progress, your patience becomes saintly. You aren't drained by their questions, you're invigorated by their potential. In order to approach correctly, you must be without limits in your protection. This means creating a safe environment where the people can express themselves to you. If you become judgmental or restrictive, the wellspring will begin to dry up. Your tolerance is the very thing that keeps the water flowing. Just like an endless wellspring or an oasis, make yourself available. If you're in a leadership position, walk the floor. If you're an expert, share your secrets. By descending to help others, you are actually raising the level of the entire lake around you. The judgment of Hexagram 19 states, "What approaches brings supreme success, and perseverance furthers. Use the time wisely to work, for when the 8th month arrives, bringing winter, there will be misfortune." The strategy of this judgment is about harvesting the momentum that you have to work with. This is one of the most auspicious signals in the Oracle. Your influence is nearing its zenith. However, supreme success is not a permanent state. It's a window of opportunity. You must act with joyful urgency to build the structures that will protect you when the season begins to shift. Growth has to be seized at the right time. In the cycle of 12, the 8th month brings the first chill of winter. The misfortune is not a failure, it's about obsolescence. If you don't use this spring to plant, you'll have nothing to eat in the autumn. Build your strong foundation now while resources are plentiful. Now is the time to share what you know. As the moon grows full, your wisdom is now at its peak. True perseverance in this hexagram means mentorship. By pulling others up with you, you create a network or a connection of support that remains stable even when the external light around you fades. In the realm of career, goals, and ambition, this is the time to be present and seen. Take charge of yourself. Show up to meetings and gatherings. Engage directly with those around you. As your experience carries you higher, pull others up along with you with your ability to teach or mentor. Use your influence to empower others who follow in your footsteps. In the realm of relationships and social flow, enjoy the moments where things are on the upward trend, with the thought in mind that spring eventually turns to autumn in due time. Manage your gains so that they have the strength to survive through difficult times as they are sure to approach. A changing line 1. Initiate the formations and beginnings of a joint approach. Perseverance brings good fortune at the start. Line 1 represents the first yang line stirring at the bottom of the hexagram. It's the initial impulse to move forward towards a goal. Because this is a joint approach, you're not acting in a vacuum. You are connected to others or aligned with a larger external opportunity. This is the moment the individual wind from hexagram 18 finds its place in a larger social current. The advice of this line is to ignite the collective spark. The collective community works together. Success right now is not a solo sport. It's found in cooperation and interaction. A positive, influential force is acting as a magnet, drawing people of quality together. You don't have to force the doors to open. You just have to walk through them with the right partners. Be wary of being virtuous versus popular. Don't mistake crowd following for joint approach. To ensure great general benefit, you must adhere to what is virtuous. If you join a movement simply because it's popular, you lose the depth of the lake. The action to take in this line is initiating formation. This is the time to send that first email, call that first meeting, or state your intent clearly. Perseverance at the start means staying consistent as your team or collaboration begins to gel together. You are setting the initial velocity of the entire approach. This is the "I'm putting a team together" line. It's the moment where a group of people realizes they have the same vision and decides to formalize a partnership or collaboration. It's not about the end game yet. It's about alignment of will that makes that end game possible. You are syncing the engines together. A changing line 2. A universal organized joint approach brings good fortune. Everything furthers when working together. The instruction of this line is structural harmony. Line 2 is the central line in the internal trigram of lake. Because it sits in a position of balance, it represents a universal organized joint approach. You aren't just moving toward a goal, you're moving with a stable foundation. This line has direct magnetic connection to the leadership above in line 5, meaning your efforts are being recognized and supported from the top down. The advice of this line is to go with cohesion over chaos. Foster greater cohesion and mutual support. Now is the time to formalize your dream team. Success is guaranteed. That's what's meant by everything furthers. Because the resources, methods, and goals are finally in alignment, you have the right people and all of the right seats. In order to keep the momentum going, let roles and rules be well defined. In a period of rapid approach, ambiguity is the only enemy to your endeavor. When everyone knows their part in the symphony, the music remains joyful even as the volume increases. The action to take here in this line is about bold expansion. Because you have a universal alignment, you can afford to think bigger. Don't just approach the next step. Approach the entire horizon. A changing line 3. One's expressive approach is casual, almost careless. And there is nothing that currently furthers the endeavor. So long as you are sincere within and correct yourself, there will be no blame. The instruction of this line is to take the wake-up call. Success has kind of become a distraction in this line. In line 3, the approach has been so smooth that you've begun to coast. The joy of the lake has turned into a careless relaxation. The oracle warns that this state does not further. It is a stagnation point. However, the unique mercy of this line is that awareness is the cure. If you correct yourself before the rot sets in, the danger vanishes. The advice here is to guard your edge. Avoid being lax or careless. When things are going well, it's human nature to lower your guard. You might be skipping the roles and the rules that you set in line 2 or procrastinating on the 8th month preparations. This line is a systems check. Are you still driving the car, or are you just a passenger of your own success? This is about sincerity over style. So long as you're sincere within, there will be no blame. The mistake here isn't about malice, it's about a lack of focus. By returning to consistency in your methodology, you regain your edge. Use this moment of regret as a high-octane fuel to restart your engine. The action to take here is about re-engagement. Look for where you've become stale. Re-examine your pace. If you find yourself thinking, "I've made it, I can relax now," realize that you are standing on a peak that hasn't been fully secured yet. Tighten the screws before the wind picks up. A changing line 4. One has a complete, effective approach to the matter at hand and invites prominence. There is no blame in this collaboration. The instruction here is about effective presence. Line 4 is the transition point. You've left the inner world of joy, the lake, and entered into the outer world or reality of Earth. You're now in direct contact with the higher power of line 5. Because your approach is complete, your skills are undeniable. You aren't forcing your way into an inner circle. You're being invited because your worth and your contributions have made you an essential piece of the puzzle. The advice here is to step into the light. One is ready to take on a significant role. This is the moment to accept the promotion, to lead the project, or to take that seat at the table. Do not let imposter syndrome or false humility stop you. There is no blame in this rise to power because it is based on proven competence. This line is talking about selective collaboration. Traditionally, this line suggests that a prominent person will recognize you. This is the validation phase. Ensure that your collaboration remains virtuous as seen in line 1. Your effective approach is your currency. Spend it wisely on projects and endeavors that align with your core principles. You have the skill to solve problems directly. Don't delegate the critical tasks right now. Show the inner circle that you're not just a dreamer, but a high-level operator. Your presence should stabilize the situation for everyone involved. A changing line 5. With past wisdom and experience, the leader brings exemplary work to the approach. This brings good fortune and is without blame. This line is talking about insightful empowerment. Line 5 is the ruler of the hexagram. Because it is a yin receptive line in the place of power, it does not lead through force or micromanagement. Instead, it leads through wisdom and insight. You approach the situation by looking deeply into the character of your people and the nature of the problem. Your good fortune comes from knowing exactly when to step in and, more importantly, when to step back. This is about having a scout's mindset, using insights to understand the situation and people. A great leader in this position finds top talent and grants them autonomy. You are the talent scout. You recognize the needs of your team or your endeavor, whether it's resources, space, or encouragement, and you provide it so that they can excel in a free and respectable environment. This is about leading from the center. Traditionally, this line befits a great prince because it shows a leader who is humble enough to let others shine. Your exemplary work is the environment itself. If you try to do the yang work of your subordinates like line 2, you'll fail. Your role is to be the earth that holds the lake in place and gives it support. Look to your current endeavor. Stop trying to solve every technical detail. Instead, find the right person for each task and empower them. Your success now is tied to your ability to judge character and foster growth. A changing line 6. There is one on the approach of exceptional nobility and notoriety, an exceptional teacher or wise veteran. There is good fortune and no blame. This is a call for compassionate re-engagement. Line 6 is the highest point of the Earth trigram. It represents someone who has already graduated from the struggles of the lower lines. You have achieved notoriety and mastery, and perhaps even retired from the world. However, a major endeavor now desperately needs your specific light and insight. This is the great-hearted approach, because you are returning not out of ego, but out of pure service to your expertise. The advice here is to answer the call. One's services and gifts are desperately needed. If you're being called back into a situation that you thought that you were done with, the Oracle gives you the green light to do so. This isn't a step backward into old drama. It's a descent into mentorship. You're bringing enlightenment to bear on a world that is ready for your specific wisdom. This is the no strings attached approach, and it's without blame because it is selfless. Your presence validates the entire project or endeavor. This is the touch of the master. Accept the invitation to consult, mentor, or even to heal. Your past wisdom and experience are the missing ingredients for the current spring of success. By returning to help, you complete the cycle of the inexhaustible wellspring. This concludes Hexagram 19. I hope that you liked the video if you found it helpful in understanding this hexagram. Subscribe to follow this series along, and next time we'll confront the hexagram of contemplation and viewing, Hexagram 20. See you then.